Hey everyone, Aaron Davis here from FCP Euro, and today I'm going to show you how to replace your heater core hoses on the EA888 Gen 2 2.0T engine. So these heater core hoses don't have like a failure point in mileage per se, but we came across the failures of these heater core hoses when we were actually doing the DIY for the water pump, which you'll see eventually later. We saw that the coolant was actually leaking from them, and you can see the crust around the couplings. So now that I showed you what you're going to be replacing today, let's take a look at what the tools you're going to need. All right, so the tools you're going to need today is a 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch extension, a 7mm socket, and a set of 90-degree hook picks. So now that I showed you the tools you're going to need, let's get right to it. I'm going to take the coolant cap off because you want to release pressure in the coolant system before draining it. Now I'm going to lift the car up and start taking things apart from the bottom. So now it's time to remove the under tray. It's held in by T25, so we're going to work around it. So now that it's loose, make sure they're all loose to make sure it comes out. Push down a little bit, and just slide out like that. All right, so now we're gonna drain the coolant. Here's the valve right here. You're gonna use some pliers. Loosen the coolant cap because you wanna release pressure in the coolant system before draining it. You're gonna twist it, and come out right out of that nipple. All right, so now that the coolant's drained, you can go ahead and remove the cap out of the way. So now we're gonna remove the clips holding on this front cover. I'm gonna use a 90-degree hook pick, and you push it in like 1/4 of a way, and you pry around it, and it will come right up. So now that the clips are removed, you're going to pull up and slide it back. It comes off one piece. Now we're going to remove the air duct held in by two T25s. Yeah, squeeze the guides in, and you pull up. All right, so now we're going to unplug the mass airflow sensor, push the gray safety tab out, pinch it, unplug it. Now you're going to take a 7mm socket, and you're going to loosen the air duct. Pull up, and the airbox is removed. So now that the airbox is removed, you can reach back here. The cylinder head, you can feel the clip. I'm going to use a hook pick. Feel my way around here. It is buried right behind the cylinder head, so be patient. Hey. So now that I have the lower hose disconnected, I'm going to use my 90-degree hook pick for the upper one. That goes to the heater core. And I'm just going to wiggle it. All right, so that line was pretty stuck on there. I used a 90-degree hook pick just to leverage it a little bit to let go. So now we can slide this line out. All right, so now that the old line's out, we're gonna go ahead and install the new one. I'm gonna plug in the top one first that goes to the heater core. You wanna hear that click, and then we're gonna go ahead and plug in the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and plug in the bottom hose back into the coolant flange. That's installed. And now we're gonna go ahead and replace the other heater core hose. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove the other heater core hose. I'm gonna use a 90-degree hook pick. Slide it out. And then you're gonna wrestle this one out too. There we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove the lower hose that connects to the coolant crossover pipe on the water pump. Take a 90-degree hook pick. Loosen the clamp, and then slide it off. All right, so now I'm going to head and install the new coolant pipe. push it in, and then we can go ahead and plug in the top pipe. So now we're gonna go ahead, plug in the other heater core hose. Now it's installed. So now we're gonna go ahead and install the airbox. There's 2 dowel pins right here, and there's one right here. They're gonna slide into the brackets while you put the charge pipe on. Just wanna make sure. Just take a quick peek. You wanna push down on them. Slide the air pipe. So the airbox is installed. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the 7mm clamp. Now you wanna go ahead and plug the mass airflow sensor in, push it in, push the gray tab in, make sure it's in there. All right, so now that I installed the airbox, we're gonna install this air duct. This pushes in place. It's held in by 2 T25s. Let's make sure they're tight, just don't go crazy with them. It's just holding on this plastic shield. All right, now that this is installed, we're gonna install the front cover that goes in front of the front bumper. So now we're gonna go ahead and install this cover. They just press down to the tabs. You're gonna take these, slide them under these clips. This is on the passenger side, it's the same on the driver's side. Just slide them under. And then just make sure that all the clips are pressed in. And now we're gonna install the dowel pins that go right here. All right, so to install these dowel pins, I take the pin out, you slide them in right here, you push them in by hand. This car actually doesn't have all of them, which is typically normal. So I'll skip that one's in there. We'll go here, press it in. So I'm gonna go right here, press it in. Here, press it in. Same thing here, and then press it in. So everything's buttoned up. I'm gonna take the coolant reservoir cap off. We're actually gonna vacuum fill the coolant system. We have a U-view coolant system filler, which has a cone, which is gonna be a seal. We're gonna plug the air in because we're using an air compressor. You wanna make sure that this valve is closed, this blue one. You're gonna hit this button. Okay, we can go ahead and plug the air. And you can see that the gauge is actually in the green, so that means that there's good seal in the cooling system. We're gonna take G13. It's 50-50 mix, so there's already water in it, which is why it says do not add water, because usually when you buy coolant, you have to add water. So we're gonna go ahead, do this. So now in the U view, there's a screen. You're gonna put the hose with the screen, and you're gonna go ahead, put it right into the coolant tank. Or you're gonna go ahead and put it in the coolant jug. And that blue valve that I mentioned before that's closed, you're gonna go ahead and open it. This is what's actually gonna suck the coolant. All right, so we use the U-view to vacuum fill it. Most of it, I'm just gonna top the coolant. Okay, it's at the max line. We're gonna put the cap on. So as you can see, this is a pretty straightforward job. I took the airbox out to make it a lot easier to take one of the heater core hoses out. And you also may see that the heater core hoses kind of got stuck on there, so you may have to wiggle it a lot more than usual. So make sure you put some strength in it. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave in the comment box below, and I'll see you soon.